Joshua 11. Victories to the north. King Jabin of Hazor heard about this. He sent word to Madon, king of Jobab, to the king of Shimron, and to the king of Achshaph. He sent word to the kings from the north part of the highlands, in the desert plain south of Chinneroth, in the lowlands, and Naphoth-dor on the west. He sent word to the Canaanites from the east and west, to the Amorites, to the Hittites, to the Perizzites, and to the Jebusites in the highlands, and to the Hivites at the foot of Hermon in the land of Mizpah. They went out with all their Babylonians as a great army. They were as numerous as the grains of sand on the seashore. There were very many horses and chariots. All these kings came together. They came and camped together on the waters of the Merom to fight against Israel. The Lord said to Joshua, "Don't be afraid by this time tomorrow. I will make them all dead bodies in Israel's presence, cripple their horses, burn their chariots." Then Joshua, along with the entire army, launched a surprise attack against them at the waters of Merom. The Lord gave them into Israel's power. They struck them down. They chased them as far as the great Sidon and Mizpah, them to the east as far as the Mizpah valley. They struck them down until no survivors were left. Joshua dealt with them exactly as the Lord had told him. He crippled their horses, burned their chariots. Joshua turned back at that time. He captured Hazor and struck down its kings with the sword. Hazor had been the head of all these kingdoms in the past. They struck down everyone there without mercy, wiping them out as something reserved for God. nothing that breathed was left. Hazor itself he burned. Joshua captured all these kings and their cities. He struck them down without mercy. He wiped them out, something reserved for God. This is exactly as Moses, the Lord's servant, had commanded. But Israel didn't burn any of the cities that still are standing on the mounds. Joshua burned only Hazor. The Israelites took all the valuable things from these cities and the cattle as plunder for themselves. They struck down every person without mercy until they had wiped them out. They didn't let anything that breathed survive. What the Lord just commanded Moses, his servant. Moses had commanded Joshua, and Joshua did exactly that. He didn't deviate from any of the command that the Lord had given Moses. Summary of the Israel's victories. Verse 16. So Joshua took the whole land, the highlands, the whole arid southern plain, and whole land of Goshen, the lowlands, the desert, the plain, and both the highlands and the lower lands of Israel. He took the land stretching from Mount Haddock, which goes up toward Seir, as far as Bilgad, at the foot of Mount Hermon, in the Lebanon Valley. He captured all their kings. He struck down and killed them. Joshua waged war against these kings for a long time. There wasn't one city that made peace with the Israelites except for the Hivites who lived in Gibeon. They captured every single one in battle. Their stubborn residents came from the Lord and led them to wage war against Israel. Israel was then able to wipe them out as something reserved for God without slowing them any mercy. This is exactly what the Lord had commanded Moses. Verse 21. At the time, Joshua went and wiped out Achshaph from the highlands. He wiped them out from Hebron, from Debir, and from Anab, from the whole highlands of Judah and the whole highlands of Israel. Joshua then wiped them out along with their cities as something reserved for God. Then Anakim no longer remained in the land of the Israelites. They survived only in Gaza, Garth, and Ashdod. So Joshua took the whole land exactly as the Lord had promised Moses. Joshua gave it as a legacy to Israel, according to their tribal shares. Then the land had a rest from war. Thank you for listening to this chapter, and God bless.